Hello, and welcome to my first attempt at recording gameplay. Please bear with me as I've never played on camera before or tried to talk through anything. So, with all those disclaimers out of the way, here's the list we're going to try today. I'm really happy with this 60, 3 petals, 11 lands, skimping on the teachings, and running the full 4 architects. I believe pretty strongly that you need a critical mass of creatures, and a lot of the lists I see skimp a little bit too much in that direction, in my opinion. The board I'm a little less happy with. I think I might need to bite the bullet and play snuffs versus splits, but have about a 50-50 or a little lower success rate with this build versus splits. Still testing Necromass, not really sure yet on that one. I am a believer in having the green splash versus red and Rakdos burn. Give it a shot. Not going to bother with really any editing other than I'll try to put timestamps in the video description if that's a thing that is easy enough to do on YouTube. I'm not necessarily going to talk through every little detail. More or less, I'm just going to play the way that I would normally play. And if that's useful to you, sweet. Got to give the GLHF for Cali. It's a medium starting hand, but good enough. I'd like more creatures. Probably blue-black turbo, if I had to guess. Okay. Need more creatures. All right, we probably have 2 turns. The only non-standard play that you could possibly do here is to teachings for ploy. I don't think that that's a winning line. So what I'll plan on doing is probably value reaping on their turn. Probably have loose focus. No loose focus. Get some threshold. Back for blue, so we've got it for later. Now, I'm just going to burn this. Need to win this turn. No, we're dead. All right, got a decision between teachings and ploy. I think I'll go for a ploy because double ploy will keep us alive for a while and let us cycle this street wraith. They only can have a loose focus here, so all right, discard swamp. That's solid. Probably holding a snuff though. Let's play this now to play around a single loose focus. So if this resolves, probably ploy with the trigger on the stack. That sounded really dumb. I am. All right, I'm going to ploy here. Get a little more information. Because I've played around loose focus this entire time, should I continue to? Versus not. just take the songs with the plan of next turn being able to go songs into teachings into ploy or some permutation thereof. F6. I have no idea if this is working. This mechanic is so ridiculous. Oh my god. I'll probably kill my celebrant, which totally fucks my line that I had. Alright. Unless they play a swamp, my line is still there. Oh. Here's my... Oh, okay. Yeah, dispel main or something like that? Is that what you're trying to tell me? What could they be thinking about? Alright, that'll be discard fodder. Might actually win this. Yeah, I think we got it. Maybe they've been sandbagging their snuffs for my stingers or something. I don't know. All right, GG. I've been boarding just duresses versus them, with the plan being to either slow down their most busted draws or uh, clear the way for Scob taking out a what I'm trying to say, a removal spell or clear out a counter. I don't know for sure yet though because this is all new. I can't think of a silver bullet type card for the matchup. The Necromass, there's just no way this is good here. Um, their deck is just so much more well built to be an aggressive deck than ours is, that we just need to basically go under them and maintain our combo potential, because our combo potential is more broken than theirs, though theirs is a little more consistent. So that's my thoughts so far. Mm, enough creatures. Better. In this case, I'm gonna ditch the songs and go with turn one duress. Hopefully, I can stop a turn two from them with that, and then go from there. All right. They still get their turn two, no matter what I take. The question is it better to take the loose focus, or is it better to try to screw them on future turns? I think I'm going to take the loose focus because I'm pretty tight on mana right now. I would have taken the ritual if that would have actually stalled them in any meaningful way, but it won't. F6. Casting the sneak. And they get their land. This mechanic is bullshit. I don't know. But they didn't play their land? I don't know, man. Alright. Our hand's panning out pretty perfectly, actually. So we'll yield until their end step. Cycle our two creatures. You gotta pay mana for. They're digging for a creature. Yeah, maybe I should have taken their ritual. Always cycle non-restrictive mana requirements first. Now we're cycling main phase to try to hit a land drop on our turn. Alright, we're good. Pass to their end step. Cycle a stinger then. You never know what random hate they're playing. Just need a couple spells now, and we'll be good. They took the not terribly aggressive line. Oh, there's a nice spell. Wraith for sure. Might just go for it here. Yeah, I think I'll go for it. If they've drawn a focus, I'll play the songs to mitigate that. Just focus for 4. Alright, thanks for building Stormcout. Alright, so I would like to duress them first, but I don't think I'm going to have that. I can cycle another one. Yeah, I guess I'll go like this. Alright, I think we might have got it. I'll just play the double songs here. Pretty satisfying when you get exactsies like that. We'll just keep going and cycling. Take everything. We'll just duress them, and then we know for sure what we've got to play around. Alright, did it. GG's. Just got to go through the motions now. We'll play this, and let's just play a ploy now, and then we don't need to worry about shenanigans with playing out a healer and extra triggers. Can fizzle here, but it's just super freaking unlikely, so we'll just do a couple of these. We basically are just digging for the Celebrant. We've got infinite mana. If we can get our color fixing. It should still have a land drop too. Now that petal clinched it because we can get to our, no matter what, we can get to, oh. I'm not making any sense. Oh, all right, here we are. Sounds good. I'll just cycle till we've got an empty library. Keep the stingers in hand for now. I just do this in kind of an algorithmic way. About it, my dog's crazy, but she's cool too, you know? Right. GG's. This might look like overkill, but it's the way that you've got to play the deck if you want to not fizzle mid-combo. I basically never play out stingers unless I'm sure I'm going to win, and then just make 4 red. And while I did that, I made 3 red. Oh, don't accidentally do that. That would be a funny way to lose a game. First. And then when it comes to this, I like to cycle the ones that are easy to cycle, like Horror and Wraith. GG's. Alright, I'll see if I can talk better in this round. I don't know if any of... I'm more doing this to put out there the way that I play the deck. If somebody's got questions and wants to ask about a specific time, if you could put the timestamp, that would make it way easier for me to find them. Because I probably won't reply to random questions that are hard for me to find. Basically, the way that I think about things is that I come up with a set of heuristics that are simple and very quick to execute. And for the most part, I just follow those rules and execute very quickly unless I get the vibe that it's a time that I need to take a pause and think and maybe deviate from one of those rules. So for example here, I just always will cycle the more onerous mana requirements first, just because it gives you more flexibility later. I always just set my stops, go to their end step. Now here, there's an argument for spewing a ritual, but given that we have all of our lands, it's not a very good argument, I'd say. So here, they probably don't have us, because even if they were to drop the cloak, or sorry, the whatever the good one is, I don't have enough enchantments on the field for it to matter. I kept a really bad hand. Maybe they're starved for white, or maybe they're just, yeah, I think it must be that they're got an ethereal armor in hand and know when to cast it. So in case we draw into a horror or architects, we want to leave the black floating here. If we can, we'd really like to go for it. So I'm going to start with cycling a stinger, see if we draw into mm, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can't cycle that. I can play out Celebrant to soak up 1 damage. All right, here we go. If it's not in the next 2 draw steps, that's it. Here I'll bring 2 darkness for 2 architects and submit. There's some debate about whether darkness is good. I personally believe that it is, but only just. I think that obviously it does replace a cycler, but in the right circumstances, delaying that turn means that we can cycle like 3 cards or something like that. And that to me is worthwhile because it only costs 1 mana. So on their turn, I'll play this out so that next turn we can just ploy without spewing Storm. This is the issue with not having enough not having enough critical mass of creatures. Obviously, we run some of these cards that are really, really situationally powerful, but they have a cost. All right, here I'll lose a Cabal because we don't feel close to having Threshold, and not losing anything by attacking here, so let's do that. Again, getting beaten by terrible draws on their part, which is fine. Happens like that sometimes. We're playing a combo deck, they're playing a combo deck. It's only fitting. So here I'm going to play the Dark Writ so that I can keep a swamp untapped for sure. Here Play the swamp. I'd rather save the songs. I want something to discard. They probably don't know the matchup well enough to know whether they should be respecting darkness. Gaining a bunch of life. No big deal. I'm going to keep my Celebrant just because having access to blue mana could be highly relevant if we get access to Scob. So we basically have two draws to find Reaping. Alright, well, we've got mana. And we've got a darkness, so we've got another draw step. Should have cast this in their upkeep. Kind of light stops. Alright. One more redraw. Hot damn, here we go. Alright. Because of the quantity of street wraiths I've got here, actually, let's see. Yeah, I think I need to play out a healer. And hope to draw like a Teachings or something like that. That was not a sure thing. Okay, what I got there. Alright. Got a chance to still win the match. Though I know that some Boggles decks run the got hands like this. You know, we've got our sideboard card, we've got our powerful cards, but we're just not going to win quickly. This was a control matchup, and this was, say, a duress or a counter. Got an argument, but it's not going to win. This is way better. Put back a songs. Start with the cycle for the land first. This start from them has the potential to be a bit more explosive. Yeah, we could be dead next turn. Any number of things kills us next turn. If we waste this turn playing out a stinger, that would delay for a turn, except for the fact that they probably have a trample enchantment, and a trample enchantment would kill us anyway. I guess the question is, what's more likely? That they have a hand full of non-trample enchantments. It's pretty bad, but I'm going to play out the stinger. And probably die. Does that mean I go to 1? All right. GG's. Yeah, I mean, sometimes they get you. It's a very much better start than either of their two previous games. Looks like this thing is still recording. So I was saying I like to have a set of heuristics. For example, the always cycle a land on turn 1. Always cycle with black mana, like restricted mana costs first. Leave your black mana open. Then later on, if you're cycling multiple things, you might draw into a horror, cycle your generic mana off of blue. Always bring back wraiths first. Cycle on the stack. What doing it in this way allows you to do is to play very quickly in most common scenarios that you recognize, and then gives you the time to think things through. All right, when you need to. This player is very good. They play a lot. They've historically played a lot of blue-red Fae. I have no idea what they're playing now, though. This hand is medium. All right. Affinity, bad draw. I would bet they're on some sort of kuldotha something or other. Called it. Much worse for us than if they were on affinity. discard the Celebrant. Probably dead. You have like 4 looks at a bolt. Basically, we need to draw songs here. We're dead. All right. This is the kind of deck that can keep repeatedly hammering us with all the tokens. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if they have an overrun too of some stripe or another. So it makes Non not actually look that good in comparison to a true burn deck. I haven't actually played against this Kuldotha, the new version of the Kuldotha deck yet with in this iteration of it, but I'm gonna guess that this is not as good as it would be versus burn, but still maybe decent. So we'll see what we can do. Thing is that this is like halfway between burn and blitz as far as we're concerned, and that's not good. We're mulling to 5, and we're dead. I'm going to be lazy because I'm in a defeatist mood right now. All right, there's actually a chance here, which is ridiculous because we just mulled 4. Blast, Pyroblast. All right, well, we'll cycle this. And I guess we'll just get their blast. God damn it. At least their bolt will expire. And they'll just point it at us. And probably them pointing this chain lightning at us means we're just dead. Yep, we're dead. All right. This is not a good matchup at all. I don't know whether that's better or worse than Blitz. I'd say probably even worse because our burn plan doesn't work great against it, our blitz plan doesn't work great against it, and it's a fast deck that obviously darkness is no good, Gnaw is no good, and they have a ton of instant speed burn. They can kill our Scob, and especially versus a good player like that, they understand that interaction and will just never let us um, will never let us do that. I can see why these people use this silence cutting software. Never realized how much silence there was playing a league. Honestly, there's more normally because I'm not talking at all. All right, here's a burn player. And this is a good burn player, and by that I mean the kind of burn player that always has the nuts. Because that's what it takes to be a good burn player. Vinny is a good burn player. We'll see though if I would say that I have around a little above 50% win rate versus burn lifetime with this deck. He's playing or rather they are playing Kuldotha burn. But versus Vinny, I have definitely a strongly losing losing record. The question here is, do I play out the Vantasaur, or sorry, the healer, and make him kill it? I think the answer is yes, because I have some grind going on in my hand otherwise. That was kind of like a 5-point swing, depending on how you see it. Which is pretty good in the scheme of things. Sand is shaping up a little bit. Just for, they could easily kill me next turn. It's just I really don't think I can win from this, so I've got to get lucky and dodge. If I untap, I think I win. But as I said before, Vinny is a good burn player. So I probably won't untap. Hey, what do you know? And untap. All right, cool. All right. If I can draw some blue mana, might be able to make it. But if I can't draw blue, like, now I need to draw mana and blue mana. So I could blow all of this and play a ploy, which I think is actually the highest EV play here. If that buys me 2 turns, we'll see. Hard part is they probably will have bolts up. They're the type of player that would have Fire Blast in this deck too. So I can expect that potentially to come from all right. Let's make something happen here. Cards, to use Brian's language, cards are our pinch point, not mana right now. I think we might have got it. return all our stuff. Not play a land because we've got one more island in the deck somewhere. And here we are. Sick. See if we can empty his hand. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Stinger, stinger, healer. Might have fucked that up just a little bit, but such is life sometimes. For the Rubbins, we'll play out a healer. Yeah, so the question is really what to do in the board plan. I think an argument could be made to bring the Nas and really lean into that control role, which is my comfort zone when playing against Burn. Like I said, though, Vinny is a good Burn player who draws what they need when they need it. And so it doesn't always work. It's always satisfying to kill with Ash Barrens. All right. Let's try it for game 2. And we'll drop a Wraith, a Swamp, and maybe a Cabal. And see how we do. All right, crap hand, crap hand, crap hand. First hand that is vaguely keepable. So, I'm gonna ditch this, gonna ditch this, gonna ditch this. We're gonna concede. All right, all right. So that's the way this is gonna go. I think we'll still keep the gnaw plan, even with the relic. Will increase the likelihood that we'll go for a horror in light of that. Maybe I should have trimmed scabs. Trimmed a scab. The good thing about the gnaws in the context of relic is that they serve kind of a repeal functionality, shitty one, but still similar to that. And you can force them to crack over something that isn't reaping, which is not the best, not the worst. I'm going to grab the island here because I've got Scab in hand already. Also, it's good to have the Ash Barrens in the face of Relic. You need to have food for Relic. It's the reason why Relic is way harder for us to beat than Spellbomb. And yeah, they got Lava Dart, Galv Blast, all kinds of shit coming our way. We'll cycle on upkeep, get our forest. And we're dead. There is no universe in which I don't die here, but I'll play to my outs, which is him having 4 lands in hand. GG's. Alright, not doing too well here. Had a really epic game 1 versus Vinny. Abysmal match versus Oliver. This one had its ups and its downs. This was nice and tight. So, I don't know. This is the issue with this deck is that usually you can win a game, a match, on the pure power of the deck if your match goes to 3 games. The trouble is that games 2 and 3, most decks will have some fairly onerous hate for you. It's kind of like Vintage Dredge, although less of a high percentage game 1 than Vintage Dredge, historically speaking. I mean, the real Vintage players will quibble with my usage of that term in modern Vintage, but dial back the clock, 10 years, and that was just a game 1 winning deck that then struggled to win a subsequent game because everyone was packing 7 board slots against it. This, it's like not quite as high percentage game 1, and also their hate isn't as good against us as Vintage Dredge hate is against Vintage Dredge. Don't know if that's making any kind of sense or not. And here we go again with another red deck. Yay! I think I played against this person on some kind of a strange build of Rakdos Burn the other day. Why would I want to concede? If I didn't drop before starting the match, I can't really understand why that would make any sense. So you could make an argument for cycling Wraith here. I think I'm just going to do it. It's the highest upside line. I would have dropped if I wasn't going to try to get my play points back, right? All right, now we're nothing. All right. All right. The question is here, do I play the ploy with a black floating, or do I cycle for one more life now? I think I'm going to cycle for one extra life because okay, that's cool. Nice. Now, the reason that this makes sense to me is not only do I have these two wraiths, I can also draw subsequent wraiths, and it's kind of like that that I'm gonna get paid off with that early investment if I make it soon enough. I guess I'll just do this now that I've drawn that, and that way I can be sure that there isn't some weird card that I'm not thinking of or wreck me over this. And now we just win. I don't really understand playing a list like this. Like they're playing. Uh, yeah, I guess Faithless Looting is stock. They just played some stuff in the other match, like maybe Bump in the Night or something, like old style Black Burn cards that are just so outclassed by the modern Rakdos list that it kind of confused me. I'll try that. Is there anywhere where it says the recording length? God damn, that's long. No one's gonna watch this. I just don't have the energy to like learn how to properly condense videos into like I glanced at some of these hairy MTG videos. British dude with nice super condensed edits of leagues and challenge recaps and stuff like that, and those are just really a pleasure to watch in comparison to normal um, MTGO style content. But they must take forever. Like he basically has to write a script and probably spend 10 times the amount of time he spends playing on editing, video editing, write the script to match to that, and then, oh my God, like just to get a couple more clicks. I guess if that's what you're if that actually has a chance at becoming a reasonable income, it's worth it. I mean, gotta respect the hustle, but man, that's some dedication. But like, what are your options? Either that or watching stuff regular speed or 2x speed on YouTube. Even that takes forever. And you don't really pay great attention watching videos 2x speed. Are they really going to be that way? That's not chill. All right. Looks like there's a pause button that I can use. If I do this again, I'll do it better. How about that? Is that a deal? Guess we could glance at the list, see about directions we could go. Like I said, I'm really quite happy with the 60. When it comes to the board, more or less, I've been keeping this. This is my blitz plan. This is my burn plan. This is my gates slash turbo initiative plan. All right, here we are. They're back. Let's keep randomly. The reason for those decisions and why I kept in this case where I haven't kept other Barons only hands is that I had a handful of 3 generic mana cyclers where the turn 1 Ash Barons is a much, while it's never a thing you really want to do, it's acceptable in that context where it's simply not in the context of a significant number of um, colored mana only cyclers. I don't think we're dead next turn, so I'm going to just keep cycling away. Especially because unless it's just sorcery speed and or madness based, but that would require looting into. There's a sorcery speed spell. All right, we'll see if we draw into anything here. God damn it. We're probably dead here. It's a tricky one. I could have burned a ritual there. That's what I really should have done in retrospect, because there was no way I was going to get to untap. So if I didn't draw it, and that would have kept either a blue or a green open. So I'd say that was definitely a mistake, and I was just not thinking clearly enough. Because of wanting to hit my land drop, I'm going to blow this right now. All right. Hit by a temper. Basically, if I hit a land, doesn't matter what it is, I can gain a ton of life. Can't necessarily win from that position because I will have used my Cabal for it, but it might get me to a position of at least being able to... All right, we're just gonna go for this. We'll go for getting the forest. What's 2 mana? Says dispute. Okay, fair enough. If they tap out, we could go for a kill. If not, we're sitting back on our heels a little bit. Which is fine because we've got this life buffer. Obviously, if they draw into a spell bomb, it's not great. But for the time being, we're fine. I'm going to drop this and then maybe play out the Celebrant. That means they'll either kill it, which is kind of not great for them. Okay. So the only risk there is if they do draw Graveyard Hate, we're totally dead, where if they previously had drawn graveyard hate, we would have been dead anyway. So to me, seems reasonable to get a get a gain 3 out of the deal. This player just isn't giving me the vibe of a super experienced Pauper player, so given the right opportunity, I might try to sneak in a Scob and think that they might not know to bolt it. So here I could do just that. But given that I'm not dead, and they're probably drawing to a 2-outer in 40 something cards, I'm just gonna stay the course, play control. Just discarding lands. Silly hand. I'm going to end up needing to make a choice in a little bit as to whether I want to burn this petal to get off a massive gnaw versus burn the petal to try to sneak through a Scob. And now we don't need to make that choice, which is excellent. All right. Now, because we've got all these reapings, I'm just gonna go like this. And I've got 2 street wraiths. I think I need to draw a bunch of cards here. So I need street wraith, street wraith. Stinger, healer, celebrant. And now I need to save an extra mana beyond what I normally would for my celebrant line. Just drew the island like a champion. So now we've got the W. I guess this. They're at a higher life total than I realized because. Alright. I forgot about alms. I could have played that more conservatively like I normally do, but all worked out alright for the good guys in this context. Alright, so we got our 50 play points. I'm of the school where I always played out for my 50 play points because I might learn something in the process. If I'm um so yeah, board is still a mess. Don't really know where I want to go with that. Hope this was useful to somebody.